Hey, yous guys, welcome to You Be Aight podcast, presented by AML Media. Love you, Mom. I'm Gene Labordi. My co-host Stephen Labordi, working all the hard work, doing all the good stuff, is Rachel Labordi. This is You Be Aight podcast. Thanks for joining us. Let's go have some fun.
Get these cigarettes out of the screen.
Get these dang cigarettes, dude. You're freaking
White trashing up the show.
Someone watching is trying to like quit smoking, and you just triggered them.
Well, you know, just take one look at me and be like, I'm not smoking.
What up, everybody? Welcome to another fantastic episode of You Be Aight, where we generally believe you be aight. I am Gene Labordi. That is Stephen Labordi. And putzing around getting our food. I'm going to munch down hard after this podcast. Is Rachel doing all the hard work. Yeah, I guess we can start. We finally got to get ourselves out fishing.
Yeah.
We did a little bit of investment in getting some fishing gear and stuff. And it's late September, getting into October here, but turns out it's a good time to be fishing certain areas.
Yeah, fall is apparently second best season to go fishing in PA anyway.
Yeah,
but
where we were today was not.
No, yeah, stay away. I mean, I honestly, going into it, I kind of had a suspicion that any like highly trafficked with pedestrians, like a park. Wasn't going to have great fishing, but I really think the problem is that that body of water gets so much sun and the water is warmer than it usually is. So it was just, what would you say? It was overgrown with algae and
not just lily pads, like muck, the worst type of greenery a water can produce. Yeah. And it carries into the water deeper than you think it does, so it's impossible
to really.
Yeah,
you can't use a lure.
And we're just getting back into not even back into fishing. We've never been big fishers, but we know enough to be like, well, we're getting fucking seaweed all over our shit.
Yeah.
But the area we just got it, so it's right around the corner. We got to throw some lines out there.
We got to test out our new stuff.
But it's like the park around here. And it is nice if you want to go for a walk, biking.
It's great for basically everything except for fishing.
Yeah.
You saw the one other person we saw fishing had like a little one-man boat kayak deal to go out away from the muck and the mire.
That's the only way you could do it.
Literally, yeah.
And he looked, I really kind of, I almost wanted to, I wish he went out earlier because he had like seriously 12, 15 rods.
He did not. He had 5. But for the size of that boat, it was way too many rods. It looked like he was carrying 15
He had a big
rods.
setup going on for, I mean, that's a lot of effort to put into something that I imagine even when he gets bites, like, I guess I don't know what type of big fish, or any type of fish that are necessarily in there.
Honestly, to properly fish that water, you would need a bunch of different rods to figure out. Because the thing is, when he's out on that boat, which was smaller than this table, you're not going to be re-rigging up a line out there.
Yeah.
So you have to bring all your rods preloaded. But we learned where not to fish. It's kind of like dating. When you first get into it, you need to learn what you don't want. And
that is, that was like the epitome of getting the pictures look nice, and then she shows up and she's like a different color, and like she's wearing sweatpants or like pajamas.
Yeah, she's yelling at the waiters.
Yeah, she's wearing SpongeBob pajamas is what that was.
Yeah. She's snoring when she breathes, even though she's not fat.
Yeah, eating heavy. Yeah.
But the problem is it's been so many years, like over a decade since I was fishing somewhat regularly, that YouTube really wasn't a thing. And now all I'm discovering is that there's a ton to learn about fishing, and I kind of wish I didn't know what I didn't know.
There is.
So,
and fishing is one of those things, like a lot of any hobby that adults get into, things get overcomplicated.
But with the internet, it's 20-fold now.
Yeah, there's people on YouTube like this. They make a living just putting content of fishing out there, so they overcomplicate it, make you feel dumb, And so when you're out there, you're second guessing, you're not getting any bites. You're like, well, let me change my bait 70 times.
Or yeah.
When realistically, it's just we were at a crap place.
Yeah. Plus, this guy we were watching here just before the show, he's obviously an angler, like for real, because he's using like slang words for all the different kind of lures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to open up the introduction again on the book, if you will.
Yes, which I've been trying to, and I'm getting it, but you go down some wormholes, and then you realize this guy, I'm like, oh, he's at a pond, but then I realize he's like in Georgia, like midsummer, and obviously he's catching, he's catching fish.
He knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
He's also at a private pond, so.
Which is funny. What you looked up reviews at North Park where we were today, and what did it say about?
Yeah, the one person talking about fishing was saying how there were Asian people at the lake catching baby fish that weren't legal to take and taking them home with them. So basically, they were tattling on some Asian people on the internet, on Yelp.
To be honest, I don't know if you are even allowed to. I guess you could. They stock it, so if you didn't take fish out of there, it would get overrun.
Plus, you have to buy a license. What's a license for if you're not allowed to take a fish?
Yeah, because there would be a lot of signage saying you couldn't take the fish.
Plus, there would be enforcement there.
Yeah.
Like, if you weren't allowed to take a fish out of there.
Because it is just cops that go around there. I don't think I've ever seen, like, any game wardens or anything.
I knew we weren't in for a whole lot of fishing action when nobody else at that whole lake was actually fishing. It was just us.
It was middle of the day on a Friday.
I would think that would be a higher traffic time for fishing.
Now, I bet at like 5, 6 o'clock, a lot of those spots would be taken.
Not there. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Who could tolerate that kind of fishing?
Well, and to paint a picture, so we get there and we notice a bunch of trash cans are like in a spot with these the pop-up tents that a canopy tent things.
Oh yeah. They were like not assembled on the ground.
So we're out there for 30 minutes, throwing our line in, switching some reels, fucking fixing stuff. And then these 3 old ladies who
there was one that was just lingering there at that bench, and she I guess got there earlier than everybody else, and I felt like she was having like a existential crisis there at the park by herself.
And I can't not listen into people. So like we both are fishing, but I'm paying more attention to them of what's going on. And she definitely wanted to be the ringleader, but so did all the other ones too.
It sounds like typical white women.
And we noticed like first of all, spandex aren't for everybody.
No, this lady was like in her 80s probably.
Not that old, but yeah, definitely dressed in a not dressed
she was
properly.
Dressing like she was going for a run, and she wasn't.
She had like that tight hat that like Lance Armstrong wore in the 90s with like the tiny brim.
Yeah, the neon.
But she did not have a bike.
No, she was just dressing like they're dressing like a woman of a certain age just shouldn't wear. Just because spandex yoga pants are like in, there's a certain age and that you really don't need to be wearing them.
And I can only imagine it feels good because like it probably does. She feels like, oh, it tightens me up, but it's gross to look at.
Yeah.
I mean, as a person, she's seeing herself before the tights, and shit's probably just hanging. And then she puts those on. She goes, I'm looking like 10 times better, but it's still like other people got to look at you.
This lady was also like, looked like she had been cooked too long. Like she was all raisined up.
Yeah, she loves Florida. She tells people about her Florida house all the time.
Yeah, I'm
and
sure
that's kind of a white. What's the word? Not influence. White richer people tend to hang out at that park.
Yeah, it's like a suburban mecca of. It is a nice, gigantic park.
But so to get back to it, we couldn't figure out what they were going to have some sort of activity or something. They had 3 of these things that are popping up, and trash cans that were placed there for this event that was eventually going to happen. And they're listening to them. There were brand new pop-up tents, and these 3-4 women trying to figure out how to get this thing together. It's like they've never seen a canopy tent before at first.
You know you're in trouble when they're reading the directions before they even get it at like.
And she kept asking for a hammer. Did you notice that?
Well, they found a hammer eventually because they had it nailed in. I wasn't ear hustling them as much as you were.
I could not pay attention because I'm going like
They were so close to us. It was like, of course, we're out here trying to fish, and the three ladies trying to do their family reunion or some shit, or right up our ass.
and they finally kind of figured it out, but they didn't extend the legs, so the thing was only like Rachel would have to duck to get underneath of it.
Yeah, and they just left them like that. Because, like I said, they were like nailed into the ground with the whatever. So, like, I don't know how you're extending the legs if you've already nailed it in. Like, if I was standing up inside of it, you could see like right on my rib cage line.
Yeah, so I don't know what the event they were doing. I don't know if they were maybe they were playing maybe they were gonna play night crawlers. We don't know.
Maybe,
but it also listen like all of them were trying to be the leader kind of, but they all just at one point were going like, you got to press the button. No, see the button. No, the button. It's like, oh, you fucking nods.
Yeah,
it was something to behold while we're not having a great time fishing. So at least we had a little bit of a comedy show going on.
Well, we also had another student just walk up with his two daughters to where we were fishing and just kind of sit down.
10 feet from us. We're
not even.
Have all our stuff laid out on the table. Like hey, that's our spot a little bit going on here. We're putting our lures on, and this dude comes out of left field, out of nowhere, with his two daughters, and just sits exactly where this place is meant to fish. It's literally like kind of a little bit of a pier.
Yeah, it's like a concrete pier. Yeah.
And then he was sweating. I think, I don't know what the hell was going on with that, but.
Yeah, he only hung out for about 5 minutes.
But I was waiting. Yeah, I was like, watch, this guy's just going to chill here until his wife, we got here a half hour early. I heard the little girl say, we got here early, and I was like, great.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was a fun experiment. We got out, got in the sun.
Yeah, there was no shade to be had anywhere near. And I was like looking around at the other banks, and like they've cut back all the trees to make like the lake visible from far away. But there's like no tree line, no shade.
And in that park, there's a lot of people that just go there to sit.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I get, like, going for a little bit of walk with your wife and sitting on the bench. But, like, there's definitely people that their hobby is to pull their car up alongside the road and pull a chair out and just sit and hope someone sparks up conversation, I guess.
I guess. There was a fellow there where we were leaving who was literally parked up on a camp chair in the parking lot, just hanging out.
Yeah, like to each their own, I guess.
But see, I think we were in the most congested area of the park because it's around the main body of water. Because that park is huge.
Yeah.
It goes like across the main streets and stuff. Because we were at
yeah, we were at the main spot.
And there's a restaurant right there on the water.
We were downwind from the burgers a couple of times.
But there were fish visible, not big ones. And I did get a bite. You accused me of making that up, which is the weakest lie on the planet. But, yeah, so got a bite. It wasn't a total waste of time. We got to test out our gear. And I came up with a whole bunch of other stuff I want to buy.
Yeah, that's the danger with fishing.
But before I buy anything additional,
gotta find a place.
We gotta find good places to fish.
Yeah, first thing we gotta do is talk to a Pittsburgh local old head to maybe give us some pointers.
That actually fishes as a hobby as well.
Good fishermen don't want to give up their spots, though.
That's a good point. But at least they can point us, if we're genuine, we're just trying to find something besides North Park.
What's really annoying is if you try to find stuff like that on Google, everything's linked to some website that sells advertising.
Yeah.
And they all just link to each other. So you end up like in this never-ending loop.
Yeah, and then it wants you to get the app, and then the app is like, it'll show you 10 spots, but to get all 70,000, it's $7.99 a month.
Yeah. What we need to do is go old school and find like some sweet message boards.
That Reddit, I'm sure.
Reddit.
That, and also, like I said, I want to. They probably make. There's probably a company called like Pittsburgh or Allegheny Fishing that makes like a nice little atlas type of thing.
Yeah, but that's like you went to insider info.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is like the freshwater capital of the East Coast. So there should be a million low-key cool spots along the Allegheny and its tributaries, and we're going to find them.
I guess that is part of it, fishing. You gotta fish for a spot before you can fish for a fish.
And just to all the prospective fishers out there, if you want a good experience, don't just go to the first place close by. I mean, actually, if you're out there and you're hearing this, and you're trying to get into fishing, go out there, try whatever's close by, and then let us know if it's good or not, so we can steal it.
That what I'm chalking up to practicing my knots, getting some casting out there,
and we can only go up from that spot.
Exactly, yeah. We were at the bottom.
Yeah, but yeah, well, I mean, we got a little taste of sun.
Got some, yeah, dude. 70-degree. I'm realizing with everything this summer, I have barely been out in the sun.
Well, yeah. I mean, you were running on low batteries as it was.
Yeah. Which is good. Got a little vitamin D or whatever that the sun gives you.
Can you take vitamin D like without getting it from the sun? Because I've heard I know you can buy it.
Yeah, they actually will test how much is in your body from the sun or from supplements separately.
See, it's different, right?
But it functions the same, but
I heard
natural is better.
The natural is actually like you don't get nearly as much benefit from just taking the supplement.
I mean, that makes sense to me, as it should be.
But with your skin, you can get like 10 minutes of sun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like it was only like 70. It was like close to 75 at its peak today, which we were out in, but there was no shade or breeze.
Yeah, that sun was punching.
It was, yeah.
And of course, I'm in all black. And my hat didn't have much of a brim on it. But we got experience. We got out. And yeah, we can only go up from there.
Let us know where to fish around here, around Pittsburgh. And give us your hand-me-downs.
Good news is
Eagles are 3-0.
We're 3-0. Got most of our players are coming back. Things are looking good. We're playing the Commanders this week.
Terrible. Hey, have you seen the lawsuit that there's this
yeah, I thought it was fake.
Tribe? No, it's not. They're like countersuing to make them go back to the Redskins. America is a beautiful, magical place.
It's fun. I thought that I was just about to say I saw this fake thing, but like, is it?
No, it's real. And like that's the argument people have been making that weren't in the Indian tribe. Is like apparently that logo and everything like does pay some homage to like a tribe, a local like,
Well, I know that Florida State Seminoles, they like take pride in like they love that.
Yeah.
We're not.
You know what it is? It's the word red. In this country, we're obsessed with the color of people's skin. Mostly, the people of that color get upset when it's not exactly how they want it to be represented. But like,
do you think they would be upset if they were the Washington Blackfoot tribe or like the Washington Blackfoots? Probably.
What would happen? Would there be a handful of people that were pissed off about it and just wanted to be the squeaky wheel, and nobody else would really see it as a derogatory thing? That's exactly what would happen.
It's funny to look.
Do you know how much? Sorry, cut you off.
Yeah.
You know how much branding and heritage and Redskins is like? If you think NFL, that's like a top 10 historic franchise.
And has been in the same spot. Like, they haven't moved around.
Rare.
Yeah. They're
That's
not.
like the Giants or the Eagles. Like, those are the original NFL teams before the merger.
Yeah, it's good to think about that. NFC East.
Got a lot of OGs.
None of them have changed. They've all been there.
No. They're all great markets.
Washington, Giants, Eagles,
Dallas.
and Dallas.
It
yeah,
used to be the Arizona Cardinals were in our division.
Really?
in like the 90s.
And Dallas isn't even in Dallas. You fucking dorks.
It's not? What do you mean?
They're in
Arlington.
Yeah, they're not even Dallas.
You're right. Weird.
Fucking Jerry's World. Queer. Yeah. And so we got that. It's 4 o'clock. That's 1 o'clock game.
1 o'clock. Yeah.
You've been begging for your 1 o'clock games.
Finally, yeah. For real.
See, I'm opposed. Well, now that I wake up normal times, but the 1 o'clock game can kind of make or break.
Your day. I hear you, but
4 o'clock's always my favorite because then you have a little appetizer, begin the game, halftime.
I just love having a 1 o'clock slate, getting our W out of the way, and then it makes me more enthusiastic to watch the rest of the NFL slate. Because I'm like, we got our win. Let's see what the rest of these teams do.
Which is funny because what I absolutely like Thursday, even though we won, I was like, I like my football Sundays, and like we won, and I'm watching football. I'm like, this fucking sucks, dude. Right? I know we already have our W in
yeah. Not many the players don't like the Thursdays anyway, but it's not going away. And
as a fantasy football player, it's nice having a Thursday game. But it's not the Eagles. What about? Are you gonna wake?
Go ahead.
Are you gonna wake up for the London game?
I would like to.
I want to see what the hell's going on with this cartoon thing they're doing.
Yeah, I saw something about that. I know what you're saying.
They're saying it's gonna be live action. Toy Story or something like they're gonna. I don't know if they're gonna recreate the plays with Toy Story characters.
I just know that Atlanta is like a team I'll never get to see unless it's prime time. And Dougie P and the Jaguars. I just I want to watch the Falcons play. Plus, it's cool in Wembley Stadium. That's a really cool thing. And shout out to the UK for getting on board.
I'm surprised didn't like last year, the year before, they did a game in Mexico City.
Remember the field was so bad they canceled it or something? They moved the field?
Well, after we watched the Steelers game, the Oakland Steelers game, I know Latin America, there's a big NFL fan base there.
Specifically in Mexico. In Mexico, the NFL is huge.
Yeah.
It's not so much Argentina. I don't think they give a shit.
But yeah, I'm surprised that I don't know if they have enough money or I guess like field situation.
Their team is like the Cardinals. Arizona. I'm sure a lot of them are Cowboys fans or whatever. But but I'm surprised that it's catching on. It's getting really big in Europe. They have their own league. I didn't even know that.
Really?
There's a European tackle football league. I think
is it bigger or smaller than the CFL, do you think?
Smaller. Yeah. I mean, by the time you get to that league,
remember there was like kind of some rumors that Jacksonville might have went to London.
Still talking about that.
Because they keep every year
because they make so much money. They make so much money when they hold those games in London, and that's why the Jags are always on that slate. Because in Jacksonville, they're not making nearly as much at their home games.
Rachel, look up a flight. How long a flight from? We'll say Middle America. Just what's a team in the Middle of America?
Indianapolis Colts.
Look up Indianapolis to London. How long of a flight that is? Because
I'm gonna guess 12 hours.
You might have to connect. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, we'll just see what pops up.
9 hours 56 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
With a connection.
What would be East Coast, like Philly to Los Angeles? Was that like 8 hours?
Yeah.
Because I'm just wondering, that would suck.
See, they can't.
7 hours.
They can't logistic. If you're talking about setting up a team permanently in Europe,
in London,
it just doesn't work because the travel's so unfair.
That's what I'm. Yeah.
Like if you're the Rams,
like for the Eagles, that's whatever. That's just,
it's not a huge deal. But from L.A. to London is like a 12, 14-hour flight. But the money is the money. So the NFL. We'll see. I think it's more likely that they have their own division if they ever do it. But
adding 4 teams to the NFL, though.
I'm anti-expansion.
I kind of am, too. I think it's...
Because we're already dealing with the Texans and the Jags. Like, they're not great franchises.
But although the Jags would, like, that... If you're going to move a team, for some reason the Jaguars make sense for
Jaguar
London.
Cars.
Yeah.
Or English cars. But the real issue is Jacksonville. We don't need to send a team to London. But if they really are worried about how much money their games are bringing in, I mean, why would you set up an NFL, the most prime sports franchises on the planet almost?
In America, 82 out of 100 most viewed live sports, and this is including the FIFA, the World Cup happened last year, was NFL games.
Yeah. And not even good ones. A lot of the prime time, it doesn't have to be like a great game, but I mean, let's just take the East Coast. Like, there's got to be a better city than Jacksonville. Jacksonville's like a bumpkin town. Is there even a metro Jacksonville? Like a downtown?
I have no idea what. Yeah, I have.
My point exactly.
And also, it just full logistics because you have to play. When you just never going to play the Rams.
That's what I'm saying. Logistically, it would be so unfair for any team that had to go from the West Coast to London and back and the other way around.
Yeah,
I mean,
you would that team would just always it would become first round picks would never want to go there. You don't want have to fucking.
Although you would be, like, if they only set one or two teams up in Europe, it'd be pretty cool to play for one of those teams. But the travel, the TV schedules, they are not trying to have NFL games that start in Europe at, like, let's say 1 o'clock there. If it was a 1 p.m. kickoff there, that's like way super
o'clock.
in the morning, early in the morning. Like, they got a good thing going with TV right now. So,
and even if you set up a whole division over there, then it still is. That's 8 games. So then you still have another 8 games of having to come to America, or American teams have to go there.
That's just a problem logistically.
Yeah, I think that's just a lot of talk. That's interesting, but I don't think you would.
But let's say, what would be a good? Who doesn't have a team that would be better than Jacksonville?
What, for like a European division?
No. If they move the franchise out of Jacksonville, I can't think of a worse place to be. Indianapolis is pretty bad too, but that's such a storied franchise. But it's built itself up.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like Middle America place, like Utah.
Well, look, like what's the biggest city in Oklahoma?
Rachel.
Lincoln? Oh, that's Nebraska. I'm thinking, like, where's college football really big?
Yeah.
Or no, what about, like, Ontario?
Yeah, that would make. There you
right?
go. Yeah.
Because honestly, Canadian football is not football as we know it.
I'm thinking a northern state. When I think football, I'm like a North Dakota team.
You got to think of it like money. Albuquerque be cool.
Yeah, but Arizona's. I don't think Albuquerque could hold.
What about Portland? Portland doesn't have a team.
Yeah, but apparently, it's from what I hear, those dorks up there don't want any more sports unless it's the MLS.
They have.
It's all tech and bicyclers.
Yeah, but they already have an NBA franchise. They have an NBA and MLS. Don't they have a hockey team now?
Michigan.
Detroit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and all that. Carolina. Well, that's it.
I in terms of where...
Alabama.
Mobile, though?
Yeah, and going to Alabama, it is cool, because I didn't realize how close Auburn and Alabama are.
Mm-hmm.
And that is cool, dude, because all they fucking have are those two teams. They ain't got shit else.
That's why college is so big in a lot of those states. What about Oklahoma is a huge football place. But I can't think of, like, what's the capital of Oklahoma? I'm usually pretty good with
Is it Oklahoma City?
Yeah, OKC.
Is it? Oh, yeah, okay.
They have basketball.
But where the money, you want to really go where the money centers are at? They could, I think.
Nevada.
They already have a team. They got the Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
It's a shame, Hawaii, if the travel wasn't a bitch there.
Yeah, because I feel like I don't know why, and I know in the map it shows it's next to it, but if you're from Alaska, you would root for Hawaii, right?
I don't know.
Call them the Islanders or something, or the lower, it's lower 48. What do they call the other two states? Just Alaskan. I feel like there's a word for it that they could call it to be like to get Alaska and the Hawaiians.
Contiguous.
There you go.
Wow. Good work by you.
She Googled it. Mississippi?
No. You got to think where there's money at.
I know. I think they're all taken. That's why.
I was going to say, I think you could add another team in the Northeast. Like New England has all those states, and they're high money states. You know what I mean? Like Connecticut could have its own team, or Massachusetts. They have. It's kind of weird that
that would be hard to impede. I maybe, but I think it would be hard to, because that's just all that's just all Pats fans up there. So to break a team in there, I think would be weird.
It's just kind of weird. There's no Boston team. Boston's one of those cities that has all franchises. You know. Anywho,
and 32, yeah.
But they shouldn't add more expansion teams. I'm not down with that.
Trying to think where there were teams that aren't anymore.
Baltimore got a team back. The Colts were originally Baltimore. Oakland. But Oakland's not a great sports town.
They wouldn't listen to us anyway. The NFL does what it wants and get away with whatever it wants. Although I think you could put an NFL team anywhere and it would. Just TV syndicate makes enough money for it.
I'd be curious to know why there's no Toronto team. Canada seems to like to do all the stuff we do.
Yeah, well, what was the last team to move? Raiders. But they were going to stay in that market.
St. Louis. Moved to L.A.
Yeah, you would have to. I don't know.
So you went to the doctor, and he was like not even interested in your case. You want to talk about that a little bit?
What do you mean?
When you went to see your primary?
Oh, yeah. I mean, once again, it's a babysitter. He's just making sure I'm not drinking. Which sucks.
But you wanted him to be like, good job losing all the weight, and he was just
lost 70 pounds, and that was like, he kind of noticed he lost some weight. Yeah. That kind of was a little bit of a hurt piece.
Yeah.
And
that ain't like a little thing.
Yeah, no, and I've lost 8 pounds before, and like, he like made me almost tear up. He was like, dude, I'm really proud of you for this.
Well, that's why I'm bringing this up. We need tears in this episode. We need more tears.
I'm fucking bring some tears up for you. What do you cry about? Yeah, no, and then it kind of made sense. I was his last appointment of the day, and he's always yawning anyway, but it was pretty.
No, I've been in situations with doctors where I was on a weight loss program, and for you to have lost 70 pounds and for him to like sweep it under the rug, like
even if it's all like water weight from these pills and shit, like yeah, like and I even tried cracking the joke. I was like, my ankles haven't looked like this like since high school.
He just wasn't into it.
Just brushed past. Literally, I was waiting for him to go, have you drank? Are you drinking it all? Not a drop. All right, see you in 3 weeks.
But that shouldn't have been all it was, too. Like, you almost died.
That too.
Correct.
So it was not just checking on you thing. I mean, he reviewed
but that's what
your
it ended up
blood work.
being.
I would have at least wanted him to be like, wow, it's a lot of weight. Be on the lookout for this or that, or like, this could happen.
And I was even trying to like, tell him, I was like, I'm making some conscious efforts to eat healthier, because like I'm losing the weight without even like trying that hard, because a lot of it is water weight. But like I was like, I'm learning like
you're gonna keep dropping weight.
That and but I like I told him, I was like, I'm like having to like learn, like I got to kind of graze all day a little bit so my energy doesn't just drop. The floor doesn't just drop out from underneath me. And he literally could we've said on this show before, like I like him because
he's usually pretty jovial.
He's not too serious, but he will get there if you need to.
He's not a dick. Some doctors are dicks. Like they're superior, and anything you're doing wrong is like you're a piece of shit.
When I was leaving, because you make your appointment. He walked out the back door while I was walking out the front door, and he gave I watched him get into his car, and in the back of my mind I was like, oh, I know he works at the hospital as well, So like I'm sitting there going like, he's probably got to go to his other job right now is what I was.
Yeah. Either way, like the major change and severity of what happened, you would think he would be a little bit more heavy on the positive reinforcement.
And you know what? This is the first time I went in there because another awesome thing that has happened, and this is the first time it's happened in my life. And if anyone else has experienced this before, it's fucking awesome. I've had 4 pairs of pants that I don't know when I bought them or why I bought them, but they were a size too small.
And you wore them for him.
I wore my nice khakis and a nice shirt, not just a plain black shirt. I even wore my pullover long sleeve. This is the best I've ever looked for him.
This is why I tell you not to dress up to go to the doctor.
I normally don't. I normally wear gym shorts.
He's showing off. He's feeling himself.
I woke up that morning, got a shower.
Good for you. No, yeah.
Put my khakis on. The nicest of the khakis.
What a dick.
Even the shirt that I had two. I had a t-shirt and then like a thin pullover long sleeve. Both shirts were nice. I was like, if I have to pull this off, I'm going to have even a nice t-shirt under here.
It's messed up. I've talked to you about this before. There's like a terrible lack in our culture of compliments and positive reinforcement, even for kids.
Yeah, I
don't think I ever got encouragement until I played football in high school, and even then, it was really mean encouragement amongst boys, anyway. But like, there's nothing wrong with saying to another grown man, "Great job, dude." Little victories are not little. That's how you make changes, man. I'm gonna fucking go over there. You want me to go over there?
Could you release a strong worded email?
I have to go see him in a couple months, so I'll
a couple of months. I thought you had a.
I have a 90-day prescription.
Okay.
But it's like some drug dealer shit. I gotta go in once a year to keep getting these drugs that you're not supposed to stop taking overnight.
They always do that shit. I gotta go to
I
get
know,
them to
but
refill me.
at the end of the day, it's a copay. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least you don't have to go every 2 to 3 weeks. I mean,
but that's why he should be more positive, because like he wants you to stay, like, at least make the illusion that you care.
I'm never late. I'm always in a good mood there.
No, you're not. You hate the doctors.
You're not.
But when I talk,
now you are.
When I talk to the doctor, I'm always in a good mood. Am I miserable the whole other times? Yes. But when I talk to the doctor, any medical professional, because I know that their job can suck, and they deal with people being shitty all the time, and they really, if they don't want to put an effort, they don't have to. You know what I mean? So I'm always very, with nurses, jovial, nice, yes ma'am types of things. I even call him Dr. Scott. Everyone else calls him just Scott.
I don't even know what I would call him. But listen, coming from me, I feel like my support and encouragement doesn't hit the same as if he would have did it.
I mean, it wasn't even nothing. It wasn't a nut. Yeah. It really, even just a wow. 70 pounds, okay.
Yeah, at least he could have said, like, make sure you...
He didn't even do the math. I did the math. I was like, yeah, it's been like 70, almost 80 pounds.
Yeah, at least you could have said, like, you know, take things slow. Your balance is going to be a little off for a while.
I even wrote a whole chart to show that, like, overnight sometimes he lost 10 pounds.
That's, like, crazy, yeah. But I wish that you would take my positive reinforcement a little bit.
I do. It all goes a long way.
But... you know, he's bringing me in there every 2 weeks. You could at least make me feel. You could at least give me the rub and tug.
Yeah, come on, man.
Something.
Just a
you know. And when the one time I went and talked to him, we were like cracking jokes and shit. And I was with him almost a half hour with him and his friend, his little assistant, but He like admitted that like he can't quit like nicotine. He's got like a nicotine addiction. So I would think like he knows that like making changes as an adult is not easy.
And that's why I do give him a pass, because he has also been like, when I lost 8 pounds, he made me feel like I've moved the world a little bit. You know, so everyone has bad days and things like that. But like I'm, you know, I got a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
And so one good thing came out of this. You'd think he'd go like, let's, keep the positivity rolling.
So you would think he'd be like, whoo.
Because I like I told him, I was like, honestly, I've had like a couple of triggers, but that will never be a part of my life now. Like, liquor stole this. Well, not just, there's other things, but like, I was like, that's, yeah, I'll come in every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Because I want to stay on top of my blood work and
Right.
shit.
Yeah.
If I'm going to go healthy, fuck it. I want proof in the pudding. I want some numbers saying, yo, shit's doing well. But,
I want a doctor I want a doctor to be like, thank God, man, like, I was so worried for you. You know what I mean? Like, you were just not going to listen. Because he's seen that. I promise you, he's seen that.
And he's kind of, I drew a blank, glad he stepped in. Like, when I first saw him, and, like, I was like, yeah, things are going. And then at that point, I lost, like, 20 pounds. And I was like, you know what? I'm, like, I'm 30, so I can still change my life and, like, have this. And he goes, I've seen it before. Like, your liver functions will come back and stuff. And sometimes they'll pop real fast, and that doesn't mean we can ever, even a celebration beer. And I was like, dude, I told him, I was like, I've never been a let's have one beer guy.
Exactly, yeah.
So that's not a problem for me.
And like, alcohol isn't the only reason it happened, but
it's definitely the thing that I can never go back to.
It's the one thing that they're all reinforcing, like, your liver can't handle that anymore.
Yeah, I'd rather you eat rotten foods.
Exactly. Like, so, as a doctor, especially having seen the other side of it, like, I want him to be like,
and he knows, he knows our family history and stuff too.
No, let's next time
It was a one-off day for him. He's a good
you'll
doctor.
be back there in like 2 weeks, and if he's an asshole, then
nah, he's my doctor. One, he's convenient.
He wasn't an asshole though. It was even worse that he was kind of dismissive.
Yeah, but 2 weeks ago when we were there, he was freaking great.
I'm just saying. I totally get, like, like I said, a doctor of all people would just see a loss of 70 pounds and be like, holy shit.
And even if he was having a bad day, he should be able to put on a little show
something,
as a doctor.
But maybe his wife's not fucking him. I mean, there could be all kinds of stuff.
Well, yeah, and I had questions for him, and obviously, it's, if he just didn't answer questions, I'd be like, all right, maybe.
But you said you had to do the math for him, how much weight you lost. I'm just imagining being like, well, you weighed 300, now you're down to 330. Like, that's kind of that's a decent amount. Like, bro, it's 70 fucking pounds.
You know what we're gonna do? When I get under a certain weight, when I get back in the twos, and this is a little inside ball, I don't want to tell people how much I weigh because I hide it well. When I get back in the twos, dude, we're gonna have a fucking party.
Fat Fest?
We might do a Fat Fest party. I might hit 299 and in one Fat Fest episode get back to 305 or something. But when I get back in those twos, we're gonna have something, dude.
Some kind of festivities.
I'm gonna break through a table, or fucking rent a clown to fight, or something cool.
You can sit in some fancy chairs and stand on weight limit tables.
No, I wonder if I get back on a roller coaster.
That's not a bad idea. I haven't been to Kennywood in a long time. But you know what? I was thinking, like, we were talking earlier while we were fishing about going roller skating again. So we can have a roller party for you,
dude. You
could strap them back on.
I had so many. I was bowling for like 3-4 years, and roller skating birthday parties for like 3-4 years.
Yeah, you were balls deep in that shit.
Yeah, I was a good skater too.
I never got comfortable with wheels on my feet.
But
for your celebration, I'll say right here, I'll strap them on.
That's what, dude. If I get there, you have to.
If that's what you want to do, I'll strap them on.
I wonder if there's even a roller rink anywhere around.
Sure there are.
There's outdoor like deck hockey johns around.
No,
I didn't grow up doing that. Like, we did ice skating as like our Friday night thing.
Well,
but
we were white trasher than you.
I've been to a concert at a roller rink, but we didn't roll. But
that must have been a great band.
Yeah, for real.
It was actually like an EDM kind of.
It was like a rave.
Yeah,
kind
that
of,
actually makes sense.
There was like foam. They were shooting.
The roller rink we had to also have banging cheese fries. Actually, they're really good.
It's that classic concession stand cheese fry.
Mm-hmm.
With that cheap ass cheese.
And piping hot fries too.
You just gave me an idea for a Fat Fest episode.
Okay, good.
But yeah, we will do a celebration.
We'll have a fucking part. We will have and we'll film it. We'll do something, dude.
Maybe.
We're gonna rent a magician, and I'm gonna berate him because I know inside magic, and I'm like, nah, it's in your sleeve, dude. Next.
I'm gonna say I don't love that idea, but it's your party.
I don't
dude.
know. I'll think of something. We'll brainstorm some things. But
Well, what's the weight limit on bouncy castles? Because if you can finally use a bouncy castle, if it was just me and you out there jumping in a bouncy castle in your backyard,
and the backyard's
on
so
the hill,
tilted too.
on a hill.
A small one is 1 to 300 pounds. I think that's total, though.
Yeah.
How big
A
is
medium one is 300 to 600 pounds, and a large one is 1,000 pounds.
Really?
Yeah.
I just came
We
up
could
with
get a large one now.
a good episode.
Or we could get a small one at the party, and only
Just
Gene
take
can
turns.
go on it.
Yeah.
We'll
Just
do
throwing some
something
ideas out there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of things I haven't done in a while because of like, and I always overthink it too. Like, there's a lot of times where I could have done something, and I was like, I don't even want to get close to if my weight is. I don't want to have to ask the guy if I'm able to.
No. The roller coaster is a good idea though, because I remember the first time I could barely squeeze my ass in a roller coaster, and I made sure to never go near a roller coaster.
That is
for years.
I didn't have to do it. A friend of mine had to, and I still get a pit in my stomach for him.
Yeah.
Having to walk off. Oh God.
Because they have the goddamn thing that says you must be this tall, but it should be like
At least now they do the seats out in
you could
front.
try it out. Yeah.
But even in high school, like when I was like in my peak physical condition, we have thick thighs. You play football, you squat a lot, and some of those coasters only
The
grip you
lap
by your
bars.
thigh, the
Yeah.
lap bar,
yeah.
and you gotta like relax your muscle. You gotta like do some trickery.
That's what they had to do for me when I could. They had to like get two people to press as hard as they could to get it to squeeze down on my fat thighs.
I like the Kennywood wording. Riders of exceptional size may have difficulty fitting.
Oh, you know what we could do? We can do one of those videos of like complaining that parks don't cater to fat people.
Dude, the ones I'm in a place like Texas. It surprises me that there's not a large person theme park.
Theme park. You know why? Because those people are nightmares. They're a bunch of baby
and
brats.
that is
They'd be the worst customers. You'd be getting sued all the time.
Yeah, you're right.
And it would smell like farts everywhere.
It smells like fart.
You know,
in
we
here.
could. I don't know how you feel about this, but if you wanted to do a bungee jump, I'll do a bungee jump.
I
or a
think
skydive.
I would rather skydive than bungee jump.
Well, something to think about. I've always
Yeah.
wanted to skydive.
I actually think of that. You know, we should do a Knoebels trip. You know that's still the biggest wooden coaster in America.
The Twister or whatever it's called.
Whatever the one they put in, the newest one. Last time we were there, they put it in.
I'm
That's
sure they got better fishing than North Park.
yeah. We'll do a
Knoebels
Knoebels.
is pretty far though.
Yeah, it is.
That's a
No
fun-
one around here. They call that like Pennsylvania's like greatest kept secret.
It is a very good.
It is,
well,
dude.
kept
And
secret.
for the price, to camp and just be able to walk into the park, and they got like water
Yeah.
rides too. It's
I
a
bet
good
you
night.
they got a golf course.
They do.
Well, that's out in the middle of the woods though.
Um,
But yeah, we'll do.
yeah,
something.
so yeah, when we hit that, that'll be. And I'm on my way. I'm even making. I mean, even small changes. This sound, to some people, it's like, well, but like I haven't had chicken wings in a long time,
Listen,
and I'm finally getting some tonight because it's a place that smokes them, not fries them.
How many times when you were trying to lose weight before did I tell you you make such a black and white decision that it's impossible?
I do.
It has to be slow, small changes to actually make a permanent change.
Mm-hmm.
You were always like, all right, I'm going to do 60 days of vegan. Doesn't,
And it's funny too.
And then decided you didn't want to eat any food that
I
was
did
vegan.
30 days
That's what I'm
vegan
saying.
and almost died. That was
making
the
those
kidney episode.
rigid, abrupt changes
It's-
doesn't work long term.
I know. And that even it's hard to do. I don't know if it's the playing sports, like it's like all or nothing or whatnot, but
Now you've been with that with everything since you were a little kid.
Yeah. And it's hard to sustain because I use all of the energy bar in 30 days
Burn
and
it
then
out.
burn out.
That's why I'm not buying any fishing gear until we go fishing.
Well, we bought fishing gear. We went fishing.
I mean, like,
yeah. Well, we're good now. We're set for, and that's a nice thing because now we can just like add a little bit to the tackle box and stuff.
Yeah,
that's a nice thing
he
about.
He wouldn't
fishing.
even go in the water and touch his goddamn rubber boots.
That water is gross, dude.
But you have waterproof boots.
Yeah, but I don't want them to get. I didn't want them to get stank on there.
Okay.
And I told you they're for aesthetics, so people just know. For the people, I do have a fishing vest.
The vest is sweet.
It's very useful having all those pockets right on you. And I can't, it would be nice if like I lost weight and my butt got bigger, but
That's
like
not gonna happen. I promise.
I can't have anything in my pockets. I can't even stand.
That's why I don't wear gym shorts when we do stuff like that.
True.
I put a belt on and put some freaking.
Well, the thing is, it's either like I have my nice golf shorts.
Yeah,
you
got to get
shorts.
some all-purpose pants.
Well, and that's the nice thing about this weight loss journey is like I get so jealous of people being like, "Oh, dude, I went in the Marshalls and got these pants for $9." I was like, my golf polo's $95 at DXL.
Yeah. Well, that eventually.
But I got 4 new pairs of pants, dude. I'm fucking psyched.
God, Rachel, he's gonna be spending thousands on a new wardrobe, and then like
he's already got 4 brand new pairs of pants. We don't need any clothes.
No, but I'm saying with all or nothing, he's gonna get down to a new size pants, go crazy, and then lose more weight, and they'll be useless.
Now you know what?
At least you have a place to sell them.
I've never been big with clothes, even when I was like in normal sizes in high school and stuff. I've never been a big Fashion Nova or anything. I do shoes is the one thing.
I'm not a Fashion Nova.
I cracked a joke to Rachel when we went to Dunham's, the sporting goods store. We were there to get fishing rods, and I was like, "You should get these." And you were like looking at all the clothes. I was like, "He's such a little fucking Tinkerbell."
I know, I did.
You're like, and you go straight to the Puma. I'm like, dude, that's the gayest brand.
How is that a gay brand,
dude? It's like European, and it's like I don't know. I think.
Let's finish the podcast.
Socks is okay, but like you're like grabbing like soccery clothes.
What? So what?
I actually was thinking when we were walking around that Steven might be able to find a lot of clothes there.
Where?
At Dunham's.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, yeah, he's normal sizes.
But they have like a lot of cheap kind of. Good
Yeah, I was checking the clearance racks and stuff. But
you have a lot of clothes.
I was this close to buying that fucking Puma hoodie,
which I was going to like.
But
$22 rubber boots that will last 50 years.
I already have waterproof boots.
Not like those, but that if you were to buy that hoodie, which was probably even clearance,
it
30,
was $40.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, dude, get the boot. They're so useful. I know you have, but your waterproof boots are like hiking boots. These things
you
are
have waterproof boots and you wouldn't even go in the water.
But I will eventually.
Hey,
smoke break.
I'll come back over tomorrow if you guys don't do nothing, because if we can get some of those college football games on TV.
Yeah, I gotta figure out a way to get it.
Colorado is playing USC tomorrow.
How about them getting fucking blown out, huh? We haven't had podcasts.
I know. Jay-Z's gonna be at the game, dude. A bunch of people are tagging on. All these used to be really famous people are tagging on to the Prime train. I love it.
It is funny too, because it is like, besides, I mean, what's a whiter area than Colorado?
I know. Boulder, yeah.
And then he made all this money off the sunglasses. I don't know what the hell. Like Prime handed out a bunch of sunglasses to his team, and then
a coach made a comment about how his mother taught him that when you do adult things, you take your hat and sunglasses off.
And then Prime kind of was like, these parents are expecting prime time a little bit.
It was just one of those things. People took it as a racial thing.
But then
the coach who said it was half black. So.
But then he
sold a bunch of sunglasses.
Yeah, he was like $1 million worth of sunglasses real quick. But hey, get your money, kid. His foot is gnarly. That thing's gross, dude.
Yeah, he's missing a toe.
Multiple toes. Kind of looks like his foot almost looks like when they do feet binding. You ever see? Mm-hmm. Kind of looks like that, but there is no toe. All right. Well, that's been You Be Aight. Coach Prime's all right. I'm all right.
He was all right. He beat Aight.
Their team, they got smacked. Thanks for tuning in. I have been Gene Labordi, Stephen Labordi. Rachel Labordi. And if you have any fishing areas for us, we'll give shout-outs, free shout-outs if you give us a good fishing area. How about that? We'll start there. And, yeah.